All right, gentlemen and ladies, we're doing a little technical thing here, but I don't think that's going to happen for us. I'm sorry. Yeah, the sound's not going to be great, but we'll have to get a little quiet. Thanks, that's okay. Technology is awesome when it works. Okay. How you feeling? Did you get further than you thought you might?
No.
Okay.
But there were only 2 of you, so.
And one of them was real weak-minded.
Well,
You shouldn't talk about Terry like that.
okay.
You had a party of 2 when you brought kids.
I said something about 2, didn't I? Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a little debrief. And here's the good news and the bad news. Some of y'all say, woo, and some of y'all will be not so pleased with this. We're probably only going to have time for 1 presentation. Maybe 2. I'll let y'all arm wrestle on which one we're going to do. I know you guys definitely want to do yours with the sock puppet up here with the technology piece. And since that one for sure is 30 seconds, I'm going to use you as the guinea pig and we're going to go a little longer on y'all. Yeah. No, not you, sorry. But we're going to take this on through because the learning by doing is not quite over yet. Because what I want us to understand is that what we experienced when we were in school doing projects is not the same thing as project-based learning. Doing projects is, I'm going to learn something, the teacher teaches me something, I read something, I learn, and then I do a project that shows what I learned. That's called project-oriented learning, or doing projects. And it's awesome, because kids like it, it's hands-on, it's messy, teachers love it and hate it. It's both, you know, and it's exciting. Project-based learning is a little different. You're going to challenge a question, something you have to answer or solve, and you learn in order to do it. Right? Now, we were at a disadvantage today. If we would have had textbooks, if we would have had a full library that I knew what was here, if it was in a classroom, and you had internet, it doesn't have to have internet. By the way, I totally help people run project-based learning in our little longer school up the road. They don't have a lot of technology that they do this with. You don't have, if you have to have a computer to teach, you may not be a very good teacher. But I'm going to tell you that if you have a computer to teach with, you can share the world with your kids. So it's a different dimension, right? What we're going to do is we're going to take this to the next step, the next piece. I would like for y'all to come up here. Come. Quick, talk about it. When they're coming up, they're going to present to us. You are not off the hook. You are still an active learner and participant in this classroom right now. You are going to, on a piece of paper or in your mind, because I'm really nice, usually I make people write it down. You're going to have 2 columns. As you listen to them and think about what your assessment was, what I expected to see in the presentation. Think about what it was you liked that they did. Oh, I liked that they, and then I wonder why they, so you're going to make a list of likes and wonders. Why wonders? Why wonders? Why likes and wonders? Why not likes and dislikes? Why not?
It might be a better idea.
Say that again?
I said it might be a better idea.
Maybe they did a real reason. What's your name? Katie. What's your name? Jeff. Maybe Katie's up here doing all the talking on this presentation. And you might say, didn't Jeff do any of the work? Maybe Katie's up here doing the presentation because she didn't do any work out there and she better do something. Right? And so, but we can't assume, we can't assume that we know what happened, so we like and we wonder about things. Remember, it's about respectful conversation, not about you suck here, or this is not good there, or, I'm sorry, I'm using the vernacular in the case.
Ginger, can I give another example?
Please.
We have a student, well, actually we have a couple of students that are brand new to the United States over at Yoder, and he's a 7th grader, and when my students were doing the likes and wonders, one of their questions was, well, why this student didn't speak more? Well, his reason for not speaking is his accent is still very thick, so he's difficult to understand.
That would affect the presentation.
So, it wasn't that he just, so.
Excellent.
Sorry.
Okay, so I would like you to set up what this is. And then, unfortunately, my technology is not wanting to work right now, because if this was my home school, we'd make sure it works all the time perfectly, but it's not right now. You felt the temperature in here too? Same thing. Okay, so you're gonna stand really close, but would you guys lay the groundwork first before we see this? Ready with your likes and wonders? Likes and wonders?
Okay.
No. She wanted to
So what we decided was our community was going to be the state of Kansas and not just Mount Hope, since we represent a whole lot more than just Mount Hope. And we thought, well, for younger kids, something that would be, I initially said I was going to take my socks off and make sock puppets.
And I said no.
So she said, hey, I got this really cool app called a sock puppet app. So we thought we would make a 30-second presentation on the iPad to talk about a little bit about Kansas, and we all did something. Somebody wrote something. We all, actually, you'll hear all of our voices on there at one little moment, and then one of us, me, did the narration. It doesn't sound anything like me, so you gotta pay attention. It's really quiet because we don't have it plugged in.
So stand
Can
forward.
everybody just kind of see it?
Okay, it's really quiet. Here it goes.
Facts about our great state of Kansas. You might find it odd that a zebra is talking about Kansas because zebras aren't native to Kansas. Maybe you might expect something like a buffalo, since our state song goes like this. Oh, give me a hug, with buffalo run, but sorry, you're stuck with me. The coolest thing about Kansas is even though we're a big state, all the people treat each other as neighbors. Our heritage is based in hard work, small town values, and a strong sense of community. Sounds like a great place, hey?
No, they're not finished. Okay? Sit down. Likes and wonders. Do you need a couple more minutes to fill that out? Because that was really fast. Likes and wonders. What did you like about the presentation? What do you wonder about it? Okay? You're going to share those here in a second. Some of y'all aren't writing anything. Okay. Some of y'all have great memories. I love that. Give you a couple of seconds to fill that out and finish that up. Usually I'm filling it out too, but in the interest of time, because you guys don't want to spend the night here with me. I'm assuming you have lives outside of this. Okay, what do you like? Throw them out real fast. What did you like? Why did you like the sock puppets?
Fun.
Aha! Right, okay.
Creative.
What do you mean creative?
Well, we use the soft puppets to get the students' attention.
Ooh, it would really suck in the little kids, right? Hook 'em, love that. What else?
I like that they made it for the whole state instead of just a small area.
Yeah, they defined, that you knew exactly what their definition of community was, right? Good, what else? I liked the presentation. I'll share some of mine, see if we had some. I liked the presentation ahead of time. I really felt that I knew what I was getting ready to watch, because he did a great job of sharing that. I liked, feel free to jump in too, I liked that they took a risk on using the software and the iPad, right? Because that's not your iPad, is it? Oh, yeah. Hold on.
I liked the zebra and their explanation of why it might be odd that they would have a zebra, since zebras don't even live in Kansas. And they, and then they gave us the
Excellent. Thinking back to this, did you hear a story, and I know it was hard to hear, but did you hear a story of the beginning, a middle, and end? Okay. All right. All right. What did you, oh wait, y'all stay right here? We're all going to look this direction. We're looking this direction. Because during our wonders, oh, this is going to come with me. Okay. During our wonders, we're not going to look at them. Because we're not attacking them. We're just wondering, and they're going to listen. And if there's anything that you would like to rebut to as we're wondering, feel free. You don't have to if you don't want to. For my students, I usually say, you probably want to. At least take notes. Okay? Don't worry, you don't have to today. What do you wonder about their presentation?
Why there was only one puppet?
Okay. What do you wonder about that?
Because it might be engaging too to have 2 or 3 puppets.
I wonder if the software would do that, right? I wonder. And I like how she started with the wonder. What else do we wonder? And I know we're wanting to be nice to them, but I wonder. I wonder why they didn't all talk. I wonder if she had ever used that software before. If she came in and explained that, maybe that's why it looked so good. I wonder. What else do we wonder?
I wonder if it could be a little slower for those of us who are older.
Well, I'm going to tell you why. too, so I wonder if it might have been a little too fast. Absolutely, I wonder. And this is their first try, I mean, really? 30 seconds is all they really had. They couldn't go 2 minutes because that software shuts off in 30 seconds. So, excuse me, ducks over here. Time to fly.
The community is so large.
I wonder why their community is so large, why they chose Kansas as a community. I wonder. Any other wonders? Any other likes that you forgot to put out there? Okay. Anything you want to rebut to on any of that?
Sure. We didn't have very much time to learn the software. I don't know if they'll do two buckets or not. We could only figure out one.
She was in charge of that, so.
Yeah, we didn't figure that out.
And we were limited to 30 seconds, so.
That's why we had to go fast.
To go fast.
Anything else?
And the reason that we chose Kansas is because we know that there's more people that may be in this room that aren't Mount Hope folks. That it's bigger than, we're bigger than Mount Hope. Our influence as a school, our influence as a community is outside of Mount Hope. And so why not make it bigger? But you gotta put a border on it somewhere.
Absolutely. Because there is a global community as well.
Sure.
Right? Excellent. Thank you so much for being our meeting. How many of you said, phew, it wasn't me? Absolutely. And that's okay, because I'm going to tell you truthfully, there is no way that you could do a high-quality job in 25 minutes. It was about the process of what you were experiencing as we were doing this. Now, I'm going to tell you truthfully, I'm not going to have anybody jump right now, but if you would like to present, because you worked so daggum hard, putting some fun songs together and things like that, let's do that in a little bit. Is that okay? You guys want to present? You guys do not? It is interactive. Let's try that if we have some time. How's that? But for now, are we okay with that one to move on? Are we okay? Thank you so much. Okay, you guys did a great job, an excellent job. Let's keep moving here. I gave the students, y'all, a guideline. We could make this a more formal rubric if we wanted to, which is a way that students can then measure how high or how low they wanted to earn their grade. But what just happened, well, I'll get there in a second. What did we learn? What skills did you practice in this activity? I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. Take some of these and pass it straight back. You guys don't get this. You get these. Take a couple. Just each person, just take one, like 2 here, and then pass them on back. I don't have any rhyme or reason. Just do this. Yeah, straight back. Straight back. And scoot it. Oh well, you know, spread it around. Here's the deal. When I talk with parents about a project-based learning environment and family members and community members, they always want to know, yeah, that's fun and all, but are they really learning something? Are they really learning how to read, how to write, how to... Those of you who have the long piece of paper, those are a quick snapshot view of the Common Core state standards. Okay? I want you to eyeball those. Knowing that this project was exactly 25 minutes long, how many of those did you practice? Look through them. Those of you over here, what you have is what we call the habits of mind. There are 16 habits of mind that are being put together with, and the habits of mind have been around for years. But it's that type of thought that we want to see our kids engaging in, which get them a little deeper in the world. Look at each one of you has a different habit of mind. So look at each other's and see, how did you practice that habit of mind in this project that was 25 minutes long? Okay, if I could bring you back here for just a Try to keep an eye on time, I really want us to be finished here before too long. That was a 25-minute project. That was 100 miles wide, right? It was very broad because, one, I didn't know who all was coming in the room. If you were my students in my classroom and I had you for a bit, I'd know every single one of you. I'd know every single one of your strengths, and I would know every single one of your weaknesses. And so then I could gear our conversations toward your strengths. Toward your strengths. Wait, what's school about? Isn't school about weaknesses? It is. It is right now. What we do to kids when they come to us every single day in every single class is we tell them where they're wrong, where they're slow, where they're weak, where they're dumb, where they need help, where they... I'm going to tell you, if I had a boss who did that to me every single day and every single moment, I wouldn't want to go to that job. And we ask why kids hate school. And all we're telling them is where they're wrong, where they're weak, where they're slow. What project-based learning does is it starts with kids' strengths. Think about your group work. If you were good at writing, did you write? If you couldn't see so well, did somebody else help you with that? If you knew technology, did you hand that to somebody who didn't know it? You were working in the areas of your strength, which gave you some empowerment, yes? What if I'd asked you to do in your weak area? How engaged, how powerful would you feel? But that's what we're doing in our schools and classes. Project-based learning starts with kids working their areas of strength, where they start to then like school, to trust school, to want to be there. And man, if I can have a kid who wants to be at school, I can teach him anything, whether it's in their strength area or not. If you make them hate school, you're not teaching them anything, ever. Okay. What skills? You guys have the Common Core practice, Common Core right there. Did you identify a couple of those that you did in that 25 minutes? Which of those? Spit them out real quick.
Speaking and listening.
Did speaking? Yeah, speaking and listening.
Asking questions and defining problems.
Say that again louder because I'm deaf.
Asking questions and defining problems.
Yes, you asked a lot of questions to find the problem, didn't you?
Making sense of problems and persevering in solving.
Are those... Oh,
That's a math standard.
that's a math standard.
I'm a math teacher.
That's a math standard. We didn't do any math in this, did we?
Did someone say that?
Math is not just computation, folks. Math is the beauty of the world. And when we only do computation, it's as if we learn how to play the piano by never touching a piano and only working with sheet music. Touching the piano and feeling the beauty of that is really what math is. That's the beauty of the world, but we don't do that in school. Okay, thanks. There are more standard, could you give me more standard, could you? Okay, good. Habits of mind. How many of you are holding something that you said, I know we practice this? You might not hit every single one of them. Which one?
Persistence.
How many of you ran against a wall and said, oh, but you had to persist?
You bet.
Absolutely. How did you help to persist? What helped you to persist, I should say?
Brainstorming.
Your partners? Absolutely. My job, what did you see me doing to help you persist?
Coming by.
Coming by.
Observing.
Encouraging, observing. Did you notice my number one job should be admiring and questioning? I should admire the work that you've done so far, even if it's wrong. Wow, you worked really hard on that. Have you thought about this, or where did you get that information? I need to make sure that that's accurate, because maybe you gave me something that was just wrong. Well, show prove to me where that came from. But I'm still going to admire the effort you put into it, no matter how weak it is. Because if I come in and say, wow, you're not working at all, get busy, what's that kid going to think? In our days in school, the kid would have said, okay, I'm going to obey, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to. Our kids nowadays say, am I right? Any others? You have persistence. Any others? Yes?
Finding humor. I'm not sure in our situation we found much humor. Much too serious.
Yeah. But if you're, and honestly, if you had gone to full fruition, you would have had to have found humor, because you were coming from it from a very point of view, very serious. And you realize, oh my gosh, we're talking about little kids. Wonk, 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 they're not listening. I gotta find some humor in this, right? These habits of mine, give me another one, whether we practiced it or not.
Thinking flexibly.
Oh, did you have to think flexibly?
Yeah, we did.
How about when I said you have 10 minutes left? People said, oh, our big ideas. Are we gonna, you know? Sometimes when we give constraints, we gotta get really creative. Again, I mentioned to you all, I don't know who it was, maybe it's Mark Twain. If I'd had more time, I'd have written you a shorter letter. Sometimes it takes a lot more time to be more concise and get to the point, right? Okay, so these habits of life are things that we should be practicing every day as humans. We don't all. Can you read that one to me?
Accuracy.
Striving for accuracy.
Applying past knowledge to new situations.
Did you practice that? Pass knowledge to new situations? I've only done something like this before, but I want my kids to do that all the time. So that when they learn a lesson, they're not like, ah, learned it. Next thing's brand new to me. You know, you learn something from that. Okay, thanks very much, guys. When we're working with project-based learning, there's a cycle. And where kids are given a driving question and challenge, which causes you to have a need to know. Did you have a need to know? Which then you had to ask questions. Well, I didn't give you the answers. You had to learn to ask questions. I'm not creating little Abbeys. I'm creating people who can think. Unless your kids want to live, unless you want your kids to live with you or the teachers for the rest of their lives, they got to learn how to learn. Am I right? Which includes asking questions. 21st century skills. If you'd have had at your fingertips some computers, you could have looked there for some help. But 21st century skills are a lot more than just computers. It's also learning how to think interdependently, how to persist. Wait, that's a 16th century skill too, isn't it? Yes. Student choice and voice. Where did you have choice? Where did you get to make the decisions?
Present what part?
Absolutely. Where else?
What group to be in?
Where else?
What group you want to address?
Where else?
What you were gonna do.
Where else?
How are you going to do it?
Here's the deal. You have a lot of choice and voice in this, right? If I tell a kid exactly what to do you think I'm going to hit everybody's tastes in the room? No. But if they have a little bit of say, then they have responsibility. Ultimately, the learning was mine. You had to tell me community, and you better be able to tell me how to tell a story, or show me that you can tell a story. That's the learning I wanted. How you get there? Do it fun. Do it your way. What I think is fun may not be what you think is fun. I'm pretty much guaranteeing it's not. But if you think it's fun, will you be more likely to do it? Today's kids? Yes. Again, choice and voice. And again, they get to make choices. Abby never made choices. We told her what to do, and she did it. Soft and hard deadlines. What you just saw right here was a soft deadline. This is not the finished product, what they just did. How many times have you, maybe you did it when you were in school, probably not, where you turned into the teacher and you said, finished, and I don't really care, it wasn't my best effort, but I'm done, I'm finished. You think we have kids like that in our classrooms? Absolutely. That was me. Whatever, I get a B on this, I don't even care. C, whatever, I might use the test. That's not high quality, and that's not persisting, and that's not striving for accuracy, and I can't stand that. Like a restaurant. Think about it, when a restaurant opens, they open up to family and friends first. So that way when their family and friends come in, and they run that kitchen like it's for real. But if they make a mistake, it's just their family and friends. When you presented up here, you were presenting to the kids in your class, family and friends. If you made a mistake, that's okay, right? But what happened is that you got feedback from your peers and from me of what you could have done better. Maybe you could have had 2 sock puppets, maybe, right? So now you take that back, and when we present for the hard deadline, I'd better see improvement. Oh, okay. Because the hard deadline is not to friends and family. Hard deadline is where I've brought somebody from the community in, where you're presenting to another classroom down the hall, where you're presenting to another school, where you're presenting to another state, where you're that puts another high stakes onto it, where the kids say, oh, other people are going to be seeing this other than just my friends, because that matters then. And they'll do a better job. Because that first effort rarely is good enough. Take it back, do it again, and we'll do better this next time. By the way, on that rubric, I like to have kids grade each other. So do you think they got a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1? 1 meaning not, I mean, I can't even believe they finished. They didn't even finish. 5 meaning, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything that amazing before. What do you think they would have scored on definition of a community? And then I would ask you to raise your hands, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? And you look around each other, and then I raise my hand and show what they got. The reason I do that is because you get to see if you're accurate. How many times have you ever had a kid? Did you do a good job? Kid's like, I'm awesome, and they were bad. They were really bad. Or they thought they were horrible, but really they were pretty good. I want my kids to know what's quality and what's not. And how do they know that unless they get to practice it? If I'm the only one telling them, what if they get to see it from their peers? In a project-based learning classroom, it's about community building all the time. But ultimately, as the teacher, I own the grade. Okay? Self-learned deadlines, authentic presentations where you're presenting to real people in the world, not just your peers. And then, of course, at the end, what did we do well? What do we need to do better next time? Because every single project can be done better. And to celebrate the growth that you've had. Man, I remember when you first came into class, man, you were totally like, I never want to partner with you, but you're really getting great now. I want us, because kids will brag each other up once they've built that community. At first, they're only going to talk about good things about their friends. That's reality. But eventually, because you've built community with everything you do with project-based learning, they will brag each other up. I've seen it. I've done it. I've seen other schools do it. It can happen here too. It doesn't have to be bullying and picking on each other all the time. When we tell people where they're wrong and weak, that just sets them up to pick on each other. When we talk about where kids' strengths are, sets them up to talk about strengths. Sounds like a pie in the sky. I've done it, and I've seen other schools do it too. Next. These are the skills. Can you read that? I don't know if it's big enough. These are the skills that we complain that our kids don't have. How they can't, the kids can't organize. They can't plan things. They don't know how to prioritize their time. Time management, research, organization. And every single one of those cycles in PBL, that's where they're practicing those. Every class, every day, they get a chance to practice those skills. I'll move, skip on this, because what time is it? 8:30, that's why I wasn't finished. Folks, I have got just a ton of information I wanted to share with you, some examples of projects and how we can assess learning, but ultimately, learning by doing, project-based learning, what does it mean? And how do you suppose a PBL classroom might look and feel like for a learner, for the teacher, for the parent? I want us to think about those things. You felt it. A touch, right? Imagine if this is how class was run all the time. Some of y'all, and I'm not that I'm going to point out fingers or anything, sat to the side and didn't really participate with your class or your group. And you know, that's okay, because I'm not going to come in and tell adults what they need. Get in there. I'm not going to treat you like your kids. But there are ways that you can bring those other folks into the group. I didn't want to pick on anybody today. It's not my job. But to say, how's it going? And that's in those conversations. How does it look and feel? Every single thing about it is building community to grow together. We're a family. That's what my kids and I were. We're a family. Parents still email me and talk to me about, it was nice letting knowing that my kid had another mom at school. I don't have kids. I don't want kids. I got 150 kids. But that's what it's about. Because I was a great student. Abby was a great student. We have a lot of kids who are great students. We have other kids, because of learning disabilities, that we tell them they're stupid all the time. That they're amazing learners, but they're bad students because they can't memorize stuff. I bet they can learn, but they have problems memorizing, so we call them stupid, and they label themselves stupid, and it breaks my heart. Our schools should not be about education, it should be about learning. We should be having schools of learning, not just creating students. So, if you want to talk more with me, I'll be here for a little bit. Like I mentioned, my husband's probably watching basketball right now, even whether I'm home or not. But I'll be around for a little bit. I would love to talk to you more, and I guess that's all. If you have other questions, I'm still here. So. Thanks, appreciate your attention. Thank you. And I appreciate those of you who, if you want to keep those, you're absolutely welcome to. Don't keep these. These are laminating something from a teacher, she is never going to let them go with that, man. But those others, those are lists of the Common Core standards. If you would like, those of you who didn't get those, I have some over here. This is not the full Common Core standard about this thing. This is the part that I can read with my short attention span. So you want some of those. But thanks so much, and I think there's still some good news.